Okay, hello grade 10s. I feel like it's been a while since I've made a video for you guys, but we're on to a brand new unit of linear functions, and we'll talk about slope and the length of lines and the equation of lines. And by the end of May, you may be tired of lines, but that's okay. I happen to really like this unit, and I hope you guys do too. Yeah, so you guys are doing a great job with that Desmos stuff. It's a really great way to work with graphs. Paper graphs get annoying sometimes. So we'll continue to do that and go from there. Okay, so yesterday's activity on Desmos was talking about the steepness of a line. And it was the perfect setup, which is why I extended our Desmos stuff by one more day to this, which is the official word for steepness of a line, which is called slope. So something to think about with slope is it's really a rate of change. So it's really showing us how one thing changes compared to the other. So how, in this case, does our dependent variable change compared to our independent variable? Now, on a graph, so we're going to need to remember some graph terms. The vertical axis is the y-axis, and the horizontal axis is the x-axis, if you don't remember that from grade 9. The y-axis, when we graph things, is the dependent variable, and the x-axis is our independent variable. So let's say you want to see what the temperature change is in a pot of water over time. The dependent thing there would be the change in temperature, and what's independent to that would be the time that happened over. So that rate of change is the change in y. How much does y change compared to how much x changes? So the words here that you're going to hear from me a lot are the change in y is called the rise, because that's how much it goes up or down, compared to the run, which is how much it's going across. So we're always going up or down, looking at the y value, and then looking across at our x value. So slope is equal to rise over run. Oh my goodness, it's falling down now. We are having trouble. Okay, slope is equal to change in y over change in x, or rise over run. This is going to be very important that you learn this quickly. Okay, we're going to be looking at it a lot. So, first example, how we can do this. Okay, so determine the slope of this line segment. So what we want to know is how much it's gone up compared to how much it's gone across. So if we look at the solution here, we can see the rise, how much it's gone up is 6. It's gone up 6 values on our graph compared to going across 10 values. So, or 10 little units. So we have a slope of 6, rise is 6, and our run is 10. Now we always want to write that fraction in simplest form, so that of course is 3 over 5. So the slope of that line is 3 over 5, and leave it as a fraction. As this unit progresses, you're going to need to learn to leave these as a fraction. So don't do it as 0.6. It is 3 over 5, and make sure you are simplifying down to that. Check your understanding here. So when it comes to check your understandings, I would love if you paused the videos and give them a shot on your own before you watch the example. So here you can see it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the rise is 9 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that can be reduced down if we divide those both by 3 to 3 over 2. So the slope of that line is 3 over 2. Okay, so we do the triangle there. If you notice something, you don't have to go all the way to the top. Okay, so you can find a spot where it intersects both lines, right? You don't want to pick in the middle here. You want it to intersect exactly at a spot where the line's going exactly through that intersection of those X and Y axis. But if you look here, it goes 1, 2, 3, and over 2. Okay, so we can already see our rise over our run in that part of the line. And the slope, as long as it's a perfectly straight line, the slope doesn't change throughout the line. Okay. So the thing is that lines don't always go up. Sometimes they go down. Apparently, that's true for my tripod as well. It also wants to fall down. Okay, so determine the slope of this line segment. Oh my goodness. I just did a video for my grade 12s and it wasn't doing this. Okay. So in this case, we're going to look, the line is going down that way. So when we count how much it's going down, and I'm just going to get you to do this right away. How much it's going down? It's going down 2. So it's -2. The rise in this case isn't positive, it's negative. The way they did it here, it's going down 10 for every 5 it's going over. So our x-axis, we're always going across. That's always going to be positive. It's our change in y, our rise, that can be negative. Is it going down or is it going up? So in this case, it's going down 2 for every 1 it goes across. Or if you take your -10 over 5, we can divide that down to -10 divided by 5 is -2. So the slope of that line is -2. So pause and try check your understanding. Okay, so check your understanding. It's going down 1 for every 3 it goes across. 1, 2, 3. So we have -1 over 3 equals the slope. All right, we're cruising right along here. So we can actually have 4 different kinds of slope on our lines. So I'm going to draw them all in here. So I want you to get used to these 4 quadrant axes, graphs. Okay, so in this quadrant, X is positive, Y is positive over here. As we go up this way, X is negative on this side of the origin. That's what we call that middle. And on this side it's positive. So X is negative in this quadrant. Y is positive. Over here, they're both negative, right? The numbers going down here for Y are negative, X is negative, and over here, X is positive and Y is negative. So just get used to this 4 quadrant idea of a graph. Okay, so 4 different types of slopes. We can have a positive slope. That means it's going up to the right. Okay, so that's why that's labeled positive. Over here, we have a negative slope. Okay, so it's going down to the right. In a 0 graph, that actually means that our line is horizontal, and an undefined graph, the line is perfectly vertical. Now you might have touched on this briefly in grade 9, which is great. If you didn't, that's okay, just getting used to this. The slope 0 of a line is horizontal and an undefined slope is vertical. And that's just because of this 0 divided by 1 versus 1 divided by 0. You're not allowed to divide by 0, which is why that makes it called undefined for your vertical slope. Okay, so your run is 0, right? It's not moving this way at all. So your run at the bottom would be 0. That's why your vertical slope is undefined. And it's okay if you don't understand what that is, what I just talked about. That's just a math law that you can't divide by 0. So that's what makes it undefined. Okay, so that's kind of a sidebar. I will post my favorite YouTube video of all time. Okay, not of all time. About slope. It's ridiculous, but you won't forget it. My students never do. Okay, I want you to give these a shot, and the answers are at the bottom of the page, but you can see the line and you just need to label it as positive, negative, 0, or undefined. So right away, this one is horizontal, so it's 0. This is positive, it's going up. Up and down is undefined. Going up to the right is still also positive. Going down to the right is negative. And straight across is 0. Okay, apparently I did those for you. You're going to have textbook questions like that today. Okay, so alternatively from finding the slope, it's being able to draw the line or